Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Joe Barnes here. Can I just find out, first of all, can you guys hear me? And if you can hear me, can you also hear all that background noise behind me? Can you hear me all right? Or can you hear loads and loads of people talking and milling around and basically drinking pints of lager? The reason is because, ladies and gentlemen, as the last webinar this morning finished, you're not going to believe this, seriously. As the webinar this morning finished, we closed the webinar down, and literally within 30 seconds, Rhett said to me, "Joe, the internet's gone down." And we every so often we occasionally our internet goes down and we have to restart our router and everything's fine. So we go to restart our router this morning and no internet. And this was at, what time was this? It was about 10, just after 10 o'clock. What's the time now? Just gone 12. So basically, since between 10 and 12 this morning, we have been on the phone to BT. For anybody here that's from the US, that's our internet service provider. We have been trying to get back online. It turns out... Oh, hold on a second. Rhett's just connected and I need to mute him.
Sorry.
So we've been trying to get online, and then it turns out that the exchange has gone down in our area. It's affecting 10,000 homes, and basically the internet has gone. I have, about 10 minutes ago, rushed down to the local JD Weatherspoons, which is a pub in our local area, which has free Wi-Fi. Doesn't use BT, clearly, uses something called the cloud, and I've managed to jump on from the local Weatherspoon. So I'm currently in a booth in the corner of a pub, any excuse, Cher says, trying to do the webinar. And not only that, guys, but on top of that, Rosh Khan is ill. He has unfortunately got kidney stones. And is unfortunately unable to make it today because he's really, really poorly, bless him. I'm not sure whether he wanted me to tell you that much detail, but I'm sure he won't mind. So poor old Rosh is poorly. So first things first, head over to Rosh's page and wish him the best of success, best of recovery as soon as possible, and we all hope he's feeling a lot better. So... we're supposed to be talking about social media and big brands. Unfortunately, I know nothing about working with big brands because I haven't, but I do know a little bit about social media and local business. So if it's all right with you guys, that's what we're going to talk about over the next 45 minutes or so. We're going to have a chat about how to use social media for local business. Is that okay with you guys? Now, I have got a special guest on the line who is actually going to help us out with this webinar. And he is amazing because he's actually got up and it is 5 o'clock in the morning where he is. So, guys, welcome Jared Elvidge onto the call. Hello, Jared.
Hello. How are you?
Here is Jared Elvidge, who is going to be helping me out today with the webinar, and we are just going to be having a chat all about social media and local business. So huge apologies, guys. A, that I'm slightly late. B, that obviously we don't have Rosh with us. C, that the webinar is a slightly different subject. And D, that I'm a bit unprepared. Because I was going to prepare for it in between the webinars, but unfortunately I didn't get time because I was trying to figure out how to get back online. So this is a bit of a off-the-cuff webinar, okay? So there we go. Everybody happy? Everybody on board? Everybody ready? Good. Now, before we start, has anybody got any really specific questions about local business and social media? Carolyn
Here's one that just came through. What's the address of the pub? And we'll be right there.
Come and you're more than welcome, guys. Come and join me at the Weatherspoons in Wombwell, near Barnsley. I'm hoping Rhett's going to go and get me a pint in a minute. No, I'm only joking. Steve's going, do you drink your beer warm or cold? Yeah. Excellent. Okay, good. All right. Gosh, I tell you what, we shall not give up in times of adversity. Okay, so for anybody who's just joining us, I'm not going to explain that all over again, but it is in the recording. And basically, we are now doing a webinar on social media and local business. Okay. So, great. So we've got some good questions here already. How do you drive volume visitors to local business pages? How do you get business owners to take social media seriously? Great question. Um, could do with a hot whiskey. That sounds like a good idea, Trish. What would the pitch be to local businesses? Good idea. Fantastic. And which is better to promote to local business, Twitter or Facebook? Some great questions there. Good stuff. Okay, so what we'll do, if you have any other questions, then just put them in the box, and we will start to have a look at those questions as we run through the webinar. Okay, but the ones I do want to definitely look at are the how to get business owners to take it seriously. I'm just writing this down, guys. Business owners to take seriously. And the other one that was a really, really good one that I wanted to... What would the pitch be? That's a great one. What would pitch be? How to pitch to local businesses. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say... oh, lots of questions. Great. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to say that my experience of social media and businesses is actually going to come from my own work as an offline business owner. Okay, I can't tell you that I've gone out and tried to get businesses to take social media on board. Okay, because I haven't gone out and done that myself. What I have done though is owned a business offline, and obviously now I'm doing social media, so I'm going to be talking from my own experiences as an offline business owner, and how I would have had somebody doing this approach me. Yeah, and certainly how I would now go and approach a business. Before I start on this though, ladies and gentlemen, can I just say, I forgot to say it this morning on this morning's webinar, today is Keith Everett's birthday. Okay, it is Keith Everett's birthday today. Let me show my screen, and I would love you all today to head over to Keith's page and wish him the very best returns for a fantastic day. Okay, so happy birthday, Keith Everett. Look at this page, Keith. It's filling up with happy birthdays. Look, there's going to be thousands by the end of today. Thousands of birthday wishes to Keith Everett by the end of the day. So head over there, guys, and wish Keith happy birthday. All right. So okay. So local business. All right. I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna go for it, guys. Wish me the best of luck. Okay. How do local businesses think is where I want to start, really. I want you guys to remember, okay, that when you're an online business, when we talk online businesses, we talk all about lists, and we talk about, building a list, and the money is in the list. We talk about traffic as driving customers to our pages, don't we? We talk about all the different online ways of driving traffic and building lists. That's kind of our key language, if you like. That's not the language of a business. If you walked into a business tomorrow and said, I am going to show you how to drive massive traffic to your business and build your list, a business owner is probably going to look at you and think you've gone completely loopy. I didn't even hear the words lists and traffic until I got online. As an offline business owner, they talk about customers and they talk about bottom line. They talk about profit and loss, okay? They talk about return on investment. So a business language is completely different to an online language. So the first thing you really do need to do if you're going to try and become a social media consultant or go and talk to business owners is learn their language. It is different to the language that we use online. Okay, and one of the ways you can do that really is go and talk to business owners. You know what, if I were going to go out and become a social media consultant, if that was my goal in life, that was my objective, the first thing I would do is I would head to business networking events. I'd go to, Chamber of Commerce events. I would go to, BNI events. They're all over the world. They're the kind of like the breakfast meetings, Rotary Club events, anywhere where there's going to be business people. Not with a view to selling, with a view to chatting to them. And do you know what I'd be doing? I'd be asking them, if I were to come to you with a strategy that could increase your customers and increase your profits, how would you want me to approach you? Okay, how would I get to you? How would I convince you? How would I talk to you? Talk to me about your business issues. In fact, even before you say, if I were to come to you, I would actually go to these events and talk to business owners and say, what are your biggest issues? What are your biggest challenges? Let me know what your biggest challenges are in your business, because I am, somebody who I think might be able to help you, but I want to know what your biggest business challenges are. And I guarantee you, business owners are going to come back with the same answers all the time. They're going to come back and they're going to say, it's about reducing costs, increasing the bottom line, increasing customers, increasing repeat customers. It's to do with how to improve marketing without increasing their marketing spend. And it's going to be, they're also going to talk a bit about time management and being able to juggle all the things that they have to do. The other thing that you have to contend with a business owner, I know it's going to be alien to us. It's almost going to be foreign, because if you think about what we do something called internet marketing, right? The clue is in the title. That means that basically we spend our lives marketing. That's what we do. That's what we focus on. Literally, the Social Networking Academy is a marketing site. I teach people how to market. When you're a business owner offline, guess what is the last thing you actually think about? Guess what is the thing that you want to outsource to other people? Guess what is the thing that you don't even have time to focus on your daily basis? The one thing that actually is going to make or break your business, which is marketing. But guess what? As a business owner, you're not thinking about the marketing. Why? Because you've got your overheads to deal with, and you've got staff issues every day of the week, and you've got clients that you're trying to deal with, and you've got suppliers that you're trying to deal with, and you've got the bank that are on your back for that loan that you recently got out, and you've got all these different things that you're doing. Okay, you're trying to write operations manuals in order to systemize your business. You're trying to keep people motivated. Do you know what I mean? You've got all those things, and literally, I'm not joking, I am a marketer. I am a marketer through and through. But when I had an offline business, one of the first things I did was get myself a marketing manager and say, there you go, run the marketing, because I just don't have the time. Yeah? And yet I am a marketer through and through. You'd think it would be my very first, thing. So that is why you come across so much resistance when you try and get into businesses, because they don't have time. Okay, they're not really interested. The other thing as well, when I was an offline business owner, is I did not even consider online. It didn't even cross my mind. We had a website, a static website. Okay, at one point, I think my marketing team said, Joe, let's have a Facebook page. And I said, well, if you want one, but, I'm not going to be on there because I'm not discussing what I had for breakfast yesterday. I've got clients to deal with. I've got staff issues to deal with. I've got bickering in the office that I've got to, deal with. So, the last thing I'm going to be worried about is whether or not we've got a Facebook page. And believe it or not, guys, that is what you've got to contend with. It is very, very difficult for you to be able to go out there and convince businesses that they need to be focusing on their marketing. Okay, now, it was funny actually, I saw a post, I can't remember who put it, a little while ago. I saw a post by somebody who actually said, don't waste your time trying to convince backward-thinking businesses that they need to market. Focus on the businesses that know that that's where they need to go. And there's a semblance of truth in that. There is a semblance of truth in that. You could spend a lot of time banging your head against a brick wall trying to convince businesses that the way forward is to market and to go into social media, or you could network and meet people and try and find businesses that are more open to the idea. But whichever route you choose, there are some fundamental things that you must do first. Absolutely fundamental things, okay? And if you've got a pen and a paper, write these down. Number one, you cannot go out and convince a business that they should have a social media presence unless you have one yourself. So if you have not built yourself a social media presence online, if you do not have at least 5 to 10,000 fans on your fan page, if you do not at least have some proof about how you've increased or improved your customers, you cannot go out and convince businesses that they need to do it. Okay? Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this, a couple of ways that you can go and do this. Number one, you can obviously create your own online business and go and show. So, for instance, I could now go out to a business very confidently and say, look, guys, I've got this page here with 11,600 fans. I've got this page over here that's got 17 or 18,000 fans on it. I've got there you go, 17,900 fans. I could go to my personal profile and say, look, I've got 2,250 people subscribing to me. I could go to Google Plus and show them my 2,000 followers. I could go to Twitter and show them my 1,000 followers. Do you know what I mean? So, because I've built a social media presence online, I can now very confidently go over to a business and talk to them about how they could do the same and explain very confidently the advantages to doing it. Right? But that's because I've built my own business online. That takes time, it takes effort, it takes strategy. So, how's another way that possibly you can do it if your niche that you want to do is to actually show local businesses how to do it? How can you go out and do that? Well, the way to do it is to get yourself some clients for free. Go and find 2 or 3 different clients that you can work with for absolutely free, okay? And I know that your goal here, guys, is to start earning money, but you've got to have some proof before you can go out and convince people that they're going to go with you. So go and find a hairdressers, go and find, I don't know, 2 or 3 businesses that you can do this for nothing, and plan your strategies, get them their Facebook pages, start building their social media presence, start working with them, work out how you're going to do it, work out sort of how the relationships works between you. We're going to go into that in a little bit. We're going to talk about what you actually do as a social media consultant. Do you actually do their posts for them? Do you consult in their posts? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the key thing here is to go and get yourself 2 or 3 clients for free and build them a presence, okay? While you're building them a presence, and this is the most important part of this, you must track. You must track everything you do. You must literally start from nil, the date you started the fan page. As you built the fans, how many did you get on each day? Make sure you've got Google Analytics installed on the welcome page. How many visitors are you getting every day? Make sure that you work with the business owner to find out the what's the word I'm looking for? The not the price, the worth of a customer. Yeah. So in other words, how much is each customer worth to that business, right? Because once you do that and you start tracking it, let's just say, I don't want to go into the details of numbers now and frighten everybody, but let's just say a business turned around and said to you, okay, let's say it's a hairdresser's, right? And they turned around and said to you, right, okay, one customer to me, on average is worth $100 or £100, right? Because I know that it's going to cost 30 quid for every haircut, okay? And, but basically, yeah, we are. We certainly are. I'm just live online. No, we certainly are. The lady's just come to us and said, you need to order a drink. Come on, Rhett, get in, get the beers in. I'm only joking. I'll have a hot chocolate, love. Yeah, basically, where was it? Yeah, so let's say that you go to a hairdresser's and you're going to do it for hairdressers, all right? Let me use a hairdresser's as an example because I have a thing about hairdressers. I'm convinced that I could turn all the local hairdressers into huge multi-millionaire hairdressers by using social media. But let's say you work with the hairdressers, okay, and they say to you, okay, an average customer to me is worth £100, $100, right? Because they come back 3 times, okay. So you say, great, I know that one customer to you is going to be worth £100. What you're then doing is you set up their Facebook page, you track their visitors. Let's say that for every 100 visitors that visit their Facebook page, yeah, one of those people turns into a customer. That's a very, very high conversion rate there, guys. So that's a bit optimistic. But let's just say for every 100 people that visit their fan page, one of them turns into an actual customer. So you now know that 100 people gets them £100, right? Let's then say that you show a campaign where you manage to get them, 1,000 visitors. That's 10 extra thingies, 10 extra customers. That's £1,000, $1,000. And you, can show this through all your tracking. Therefore, what you're doing isn't just showing numbers. You're showing actual value. You're not just saying, "Oh, I can go and get 1,000 people to come and visit a page." What you're actually saying is, "I'm showing this tracking. I've got this audit trail where they're arriving at the page, they're signing up, they're getting the information, they're becoming a customer." Okay, I can actually show it right through to the sale. Now, you imagine doing that for 3 months. Okay, for say 3 different clients, having all that data behind you and now approaching a business owner or their marketing department and now saying, do you know what? Look, I think social media is a great strategy forward. And here is my proof. These are three companies that I've recently done this for in the last 3 months. Here are the facts. Here are the numbers. This is how much it's cost them, i.e., free, apart from your services, because it's all online. Okay, and these are how many customers they've got. Then, what you want to do with the businesses that you're working with, encourage them to give you their numbers for things like newspaper ads and magazine ads and yellow pages ads, right? Because if they can actually show you also how much they pay for their advertising, their paper ads and yellow ads and magazine ads and things like that, they can actually show you how much they're spending on a monthly basis and show you how many customers that's bringing in. Okay, and compare it to your online strategy. All of a sudden, you've got some very, very persuasive data. Very persuasive data. Okay? So that would be sort of my first thing I would do. Jared, have you got anything to add to that at this stage?
Yeah, definitely. I think so I've done a lot of SEO for local businesses in the past. Sorry, my voice hasn't woken up yet. Maybe I should head down to the pub. I'm not sure. So yeah, one of the things that I've noticed is a lot of the local business owners that I've worked with, they're kind of scared of internet marketing. They're kind of scared of the big words, social media, and these types of things. And so you have to, like you said, talk their language. And really, at the end of the day, what they're after are new customers. And so they don't want to build Facebook fans. They don't even really know what that means, but they really want new customers. And so if when you approach these people, if you talk to them the right way and just help them understand, I'd like to get you more customers. Like you were just mentioning the yellow pages and all these different paid advertising methods they're currently using, and they're not working as good as they used to for all of these local businesses across the board. And they're all hearing, oh, I'm supposed to do internet, but I don't know internet. So they're happy to have somebody come in and make it sound comfortable for them, is what I found. You know what I mean? Thinking back to when you were doing your offline business, if somebody would have come in and said, hey, I'd like to optimize your website and get your keyword density up so that you get lots of traffic from Google, it probably would have just freaked you out. You wouldn't have been excited about it. But if somebody were to come in and say, hey, there are a ton of people looking online for the type of services you're offering, I know how to get you in front of those people. I'd like to help you get some new customers. What do you say? Then you're more apt to listen to what they have to say. So I think the language you use and how you talk to these people is really important, or at least that's been my experience.
How did you find them, Jared?
You know, it's interesting. You can just go straight to the yellow pages or the newspapers or some of these places where they are paying to advertise, because you know that it costs quite a bit for these offline businesses to advertise in the phone book or in these different areas. So go find who is there and then look on Facebook and see if you can find them. And
Yeah.
if you can't find them, then neither can anybody else. So what you have there is you have a potential client who you know spends money on their advertising, and they're probably not seeing the return they used to on that offline advertising. And you know that their customers can't find them online, which is where more and more customers are looking for them. And so you have a prime prospect that you can approach and say, I'd like to help you out. I see that you are spending money on yellow pages. If you're like most businesses, that probably hasn't panned out in recent years like it used to. A lot of people are turning online because that's where the market's at. So that's what I do. I'd like to talk to you about how we could get you some more customers.
That's a great. I like that language. I'd like to talk to you about how we can get you some more customers and make you some more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great sort of segue into how to approach local businesses and where are they. Okay, so I think the thing is I'm approached a lot by people who want to become social media consultants. And they start fan pages and they come to me and they say, Joe, I've started this fan page and it's all about local business, but I'm not getting anybody there. Well, you know what, guys? You've got two type of customer, really. First of all, you've got the customer that maybe has started their presence online. Maybe they have got a Facebook page, and maybe they have got a marketing department, and maybe they have just started to get it off the ground. That's what I would call a warm customer. Okay, so that's somebody who maybe has just started and is going to be more welcoming to somebody who knows what they're talking about, right? But I'm telling you now, they're probably not on Facebook all day long surfing it and looking for services because they're working. You know, they're they're offline and they're dealing with their clients and all the rest of it, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so you've got those sorts of people. Then you've got the people that are definitely not online yet. Okay, they're not online. They're colder customers. They're going to be a bit more difficult to convince, and they're definitely not on Facebook surfing or seeing anything. So if you've started a local business page and it's sitting on Facebook with no traffic, the reason is because businesses are not spending their days surfing the net. Now, if they've got a marketing department or whatever, you may be lucky. There may be some marketing managers out there having a look, having a trawl about, seeing what's out there. I know I've definitely got some local businesses in the Social Networking Academy, and that's because they're just more open-minded. They feel that social media is the way they want to go, and so they have come and found me. But it's certainly not the larger part of my customer database. The larger part of my customer database are people who are online most of the time because that's where they want to start their business. So really, you need to start thinking most of my customers are offline. Okay, so you need to be taking a completely different marketing approach. I'm not saying don't have an online presence. Definitely have your page because you do want to sweep up those people that are surfing online. But a lot of offline businesses will be offline. And it's going to be volume. It really is. It's going to be pounding the streets. It's going to be meeting a lot of people. It's going to be contacting a lot of people. And it's going to be about volume for you to start to pick up contracts. I speak to people who'll say to me, "Oh, Joe, I approached 5 businesses this week and not one of them bit, and I approached 5 businesses last week." And I say, "Okay, how many businesses did you write to? How many businesses did you send a CD out to? How many businesses did you send a leaflet out to? How many businesses did you push something through their letterbox?" You've got to get yourself a presence out there. When I started my offline business, okay, I knew nothing about what I was going into. I was going into property. I knew nothing about the business. I knew I didn't know where I was going to get customers. I had no clients lined up. I started, and I had very small budget, very, very small budget. And I literally started by going and getting some neon pieces of paper, literally bright pink and bright green. I printed off on my computer my services, okay, and I literally printed off all of these neon pieces of paper and went down to the local printers and photocopied them, 500 times. Got a little guillotine at home, yeah, and guillotined up all of the sheets of paper. And then I went out on foot and I delivered these leaflets to all of the local apartments. Yeah, all of the local apartments in town. I was looking for landlords. I wanted to find landlords. I wanted them to use my services as their letting agent, as their rental agent. And so I basically went out and stuffed all these leaflets in all of these. And it took me weeks. And I must have delivered 10,000 leaflets, yeah? And eventually I got a phone call, and one guy tried me, and then he told another guy, and they tried me, and then he told another guy, and then I got another phone call, and gradually over time, I started to, through word of mouth and through people seeing my leaflets and things like that, get some clients, okay? And then, of course, as I grew, I started to go to networking events, I started to go to property events, I started to meet people, I started to get a reputation, I got some signage for my building, all of that, and it just slowly grew, and I got more and more exposure as I grew. And you guys need to really think in the same way. Your clients are more offline, so you need to be looking offline for them. Now, if that means that you sit down and you design yourself a really nice little social media kind of leaflet, maybe, little pamphlet, something really little funky, maybe you want to put it all on a little CD and burn loads of different CDs with some really great statistics about social media. This, though, is where you need some hard proof. It's no good sending them a nice little pamphlet that just says, "Hey, we'd like to help you find some more customers. We're a great company. Come on board, check us out. Here we are. And we'll help you with your social media." This is where you need some proof. If I was sat in my office now, Yeah, in the old days, I remember being approached actually by somebody who wanted to increase. What was it at the time? I think it was. I'm sure it was Facebook, and I think it was Twitter at the time. And I literally shooed him out my office because I just didn't have the time to deal with it. But he approached me in very much the wrong way. If you have got some hard, if he'd have walked into my office and said, "Look, I've got some stats here. This is a company I've just done it for. This is what's happened. This is the tracking. These are the customers. These are the numbers. This is what I'm doing. This is what I can do for you," I would have been far more willing to talk to him. But what he did was talk to me about the language. He talked to me about what Facebook was, what Twitter was, what they did. I didn't know, and I wasn't interested. All I wanted to know is, are you going to increase my profits and are you going to decrease my costs and increase my customer database? So if you are going to start writing to companies and approaching companies, that's where you need some hard data. Okay, and I would, if I were going to sit down now and become a social media consultant, I would get all my ducks in a row. I'd think, right, what are my services? What am I going to offer? What are my stats? What have I got? And then I would start writing. I would literally start writing out to hundreds of companies, either in my local area or, across the globe if you want to go that far, but I'd probably start in my local area. And I would be going to every single networking meeting, business meeting, any meeting I could find, and starting to talk to people and, find out, start to talk to businesses. The other thing you could do, okay, which I would do in my local area as well, is I would try and get in with the local Chamber of Commerce and start holding seminars for breakfast meetings and stuff. I'd do like an hour-long seminar all about social media and business. I might get in with, there's always events in the local area, aren't there? There's always little seminars and events and things like that going on. So I would try and become a speaker at events. I would try and go to the networking events and get myself on stage to talk to people about social media. I mean, we're talking coming out of your comfort zone here. But it's all about trying to get in the eye of the customer, okay? And then once you get into that all-important meeting, once you actually get into that meeting when you're sitting down and you're talking to the business owner, just like Jared said then, it is really about talking their language. It's about saying, look, this is what we can do. We're going to help you find more customers. It's as simple as that. Now, the other thing I want to say at this stage as well is don't bamboozle businesses. Don't go in there with a Facebook strategy, a Twitter strategy, a mobile marketing strategy, a Google strategy, the Google Places strategy. Don't go in with 5 strategies. Go in with a list of things you can do, but focus on one. If that guy had walked into my office and said, "Joe, all I want to do is get you a Facebook presence and get you another 100 customers a week," then he would have been talking. But because he came to me with more than one, I was confused, I was bamboozled, I was overwhelmed. So even if you've got an entire menu of services that you can offer businesses, show them you've got it, but say, I just want to start with one. Let's just start with one thing. Let's try one campaign, okay? Let's see if we can increase your customers and do all of this through one campaign, and then as we grow and build, we can add campaigns as we go. All of a sudden, it's a lot less overwhelming. A business owner is probably likely to want to try that, okay? Um, Jared, anything to add on that one?
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get your feeling on this. When I was offering the SEO services to local businesses, what worked hugely when I was talking to them was to show them search volume, because none of them thought that they really needed to be online. But when I could give them hard data, like you said, when I could say, look, 4,000 people have typed in Birmingham dentist in the last month, they were very interested then to hear how I could get them in front of those people. What would be the equivalent, do you think, if you were approaching somebody with Facebook? How could you have them sit up and say, oh, wow, would it be showing
I would
some of
say,
their competitors?
yeah, I would say probably fan pages in their niche.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be looking at fan pages in their niche, and I would you can turn it either way. You can either say what you can do is show them if there's fan pages in their niche that have got thousands and thousands of fans, yeah,
Hmm.
then you can turn around and say, look how many fans this fan page has got. Look how many people are engaging and talking to this fan page. This is amazing for your business, right? If there were
Hmm.
fan pages that didn't have, if there weren't that many fan pages out there or fan pages that didn't have fans, I would then turn around and say, look how big the gap is in the market for you to jump into.
Yeah, that's great. Probably the best way to find those two would be if you're in a smaller area to go just think of the next biggest city and then
But
go
you,
look for
but you know,
things.
yeah, but you know what? With Facebook as well, here's the other thing. It wouldn't just be about the niche; it would be about the target market. I would say to somebody, "Who's your target market?" Right? So let's say it was a hairdresser's in Wombwell, right? And they said to me, "Hey Joe, I'm a hairdresser's in Wombwell, and I want to find clients in the local area." Then I'd probably start searching in here for, gosh, let's just think about this. I'd want to show them how many people are on Facebook
Hmm.
from the local area. Do you know what I mean? How do you
Yeah.
do that? You've searched local area before. How do you do that? You've searched local area before on Facebook. I've seen it come up in your search terms where you've searched Wombwell. Do you have to search specific names or do you just search for people?
Gosh, you could probably find out some of that information by trying to set up a paid Facebook campaign too. Even if you don't see the whole campaign through, you can just
Yeah.
get an idea of the demographic.
See, this is a page in Wombwell. So there is a page here for Wombwell. Let's see if we can spot the Weatherspoons. Here, I tell you what, guys. We're just behind that building there. um, okay, but look, I mean, there's 1,120 people who like it. 510 people have been talking about it for the last week. There's not a lot going on there, though, is there? I'd have to look into that, actually. I've never thought about how to search for people. They said enter category like Mexican restaurant. There's not many Mexican restaurants around here. Let's enter Indian restaurant. See what comes up. Oh, there's plenty of Indian restaurants. Huh? Oh no, actually, this is probably the worst place to pick in the world. Actually, there's not that many people in Wimwell on the internet. Sorry if there's anybody there. Sheffield. Let's have a look at Sheffield, for instance. Is there a thing for Sheffield? That's a really good question. You'd want to be able to search and see, wouldn't you, how many people. There you go, Sheffield page, 36,788 people. See, if I'd have known this when I had my business in Sheffield, do you know what I mean? And I'd have known there was a page here with 36,788 people, would I have wanted to try and take advantage of that? Yes. Uh,
Along with this, with Facebook pages showing up now in Google results, you could also use Google search volume as an indicator of look how many people are searching for
yeah,
Sheffield hairdressers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. I'd have to give that some more thought. I'd really have to. Oh, hold on a second. Think we've got some suggestions. Here we go. We've got some suggestions. Oh, of course, Donna, the advanced search app. Yes, crikey. Do you know what? I haven't used that in months. What was it called? Beta, wasn't it? It started with beta. Do you remember that? It was on one of my original videos. Beta Advanced. Thanks for that memory, Donna. Gosh, I haven't used it in absolute months. There we go. Advanced Search 2.2 Beta. Now, this is an application that I used to use when I really first started in Facebook to find pages and places and people and all sorts. It's just taken a while to come up. So what you need to do, guys, is type in beta search 2.2 and then you can. Oh, I need to update my profile and everything. I'm not going to bother with that. But you can. Let's just see if it works without me updating anything. Yeah, save and continue. Come on. Come on. Okay, that's going to take a while to come up. While that's thinking about it, let's just go into another Facebook. Because Duram said type in the industry first and then the place. So if I type in hairdressers, for instance. Oh, Guys, are you still there? Jared, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh,
The
good.
screen just seems
Yeah,
to have
the
frozen.
screen is frozen. Thankfully, I thought I'd lost you then, but it hasn't. No, my screen's frozen for some reason. Okay. Oh, here we go. Uh, okay, so we provide advanced search, so I can send it to my friends. Yeah, just skip that for a minute. Gosh, that's the trouble with these free apps. Um, 400 million profiles, pages, and groups. So the very best chance that you have to find. So find people. Oh, it's taking so long to go through. Okay, so hairdressers. I'm sure there was a place on here where you searched and then it allowed you to hone down that search to an area. I'm sure there was. He was searching for somebody once. Maybe it was because it was a person, and then it asked you, and then it gave you the option to look at their area. Let me just see if it works if I put my name in. Because you don't want that. No, no, no. I can't find it. Okay, all right. I know that there is definitely a drop down at some point to search for the area. Yeah. Anyway, and Tracy's saying social bakers as well. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Marcy is saying you can search friends in a particular area. I know, I've done it. I'm so annoyed that I can't find it now. That's really odd. Let me click on people and see if that brings up. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Type in the name of the city or region. So let's go Sheffield. I wonder if that's going to bring me up Sheffield. Oh, it's just me. It's because I've put in my own name, haven't I? There we go. So that's bringing me up all people in Sheffield. Actually, it's my friends. It's mainly my friends in Sheffield. Not really sure what that's going to show me. But anyway, guys, okay, so I don't want to get too into the detail of search here. That's an interesting question. That's something I'm going to start to look into, actually, about how do we actually search and be able to show, a business owner. So here we've got all these different things here in this advanced search beta 2.2. I'd need to go back and have a look at this again. But you're looking for, we've got school, town, we've got filter results by town, city or region name. All these different searches in here, groups, pages. So great question, and something that I think probably using Facebook and Google we'd need to have a look at and see the best way to do that. Cool. Okay. So anyway, guys, at least you do know Joe. Donna, Joe, if you try that search app, I just added in Australia as the update and it worked fine. Okay, cool. Okay, guys. All right. Well, look, I'm going to have a look into this, okay, at a later stage without going into the detail on the webinar right now because I'd like to have a really good search through this. And maybe that's another webinar we can do with Donna, perhaps. Anyway, okay, so what I want to talk about now very quickly is... in fact, Jared, I'm going to hand over to you. Jared came up with a good point just before we were getting the webinar. He said, which clients would make good clients? So, Jared, do you want to talk about the type of clients that would make great clients?
Yeah, definitely. The interesting thing about these offline business owners that I found is, like I said earlier, they're interested in more customers. They're not interested in ranking on page one of Google. They're not interested in having a bazillion fans on their fan pages. They don't really know what any of that means in a lot of cases. All they want is more customers. And so what that means is they're gonna rate the how effective your campaign is and how worth it is for them to pay you to help them based on how much revenue it brings their business. And what that means then is if you approach businesses that have a really low value per customer like you were talking about earlier, then it's going to be harder for you to show them a positive return on their investment in services. Does that make sense? So if they spend $500 a month with you and each customer they get is worth $10, you're going to have to get a whole lot of customers for them every month for them to feel like it's worth paying you that $500. But if you find a business who has a high value per customer, then it's much easier. If you find a dentist who says the average customer is worth $10,000 to our company, well, if you get them one new customer every few months, they're happy to pay because it's way more than paid for the service. So when you're thinking, okay, what industries, what markets, what niches do I want to go after to try to help with their social media presence, I would start considering, okay, which businesses might have a higher customer value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I did with the SEO strategies quite a bit, and it worked really well because it was less stressful for me for one, because I was able to show them a return on their investment much easier, and everybody understands it's a lot better. It's a lot easier to run a sustainable business if you have return customers paying you month after month for something than it is if you have to go out and chase new customers for every single sale you ever make. And so if you can find customers that it's not hard for you to show a return on their investment in your services, then your business is going to be much more sustainable and easier for you to run
Jared,
because month after month they're
Sir,
going to come back to you.
Surette is asking, how do you find out what the value of a customer is?
Well, the way I approached it at first was just use common sense, just thinking, okay, well, a restaurant's going to be low, but in the medical field, that's going to be high. So I would look into dig deep into maybe the medical field. Lawyers I knew would have a high value. Just who charges their customers a lot of money is really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So it's interesting when you start to dig into this. If you go even just to like the online yellow pages websites and start looking at the different categories, and you go to medical, you think, okay, well, doctors, well, great, there's that, okay. But you can break that down into rhinoplasty, like nose surgeons, plastic surgeons. There are all these different sub niches within. I specialize obviously in the medical field for my SEO services for local businesses because I found that to be great. So I worked with a lot of chiropractors. So apart from actually talking to them and asking them what their value customer is, you can also just think of where do I pay the most
Yep.
for services that I use, and medical was good, lawyers were good. In fact, yeah, there's a really good list. I'll have to find it. Maybe we can push it live with put a link to it with the replay of this. But there's a good list of suggestions of where to start as far as who would make good clients.
Great, good stuff. Okay, all right. Let me just. I'm going to see if Donna Hamer will come online actually and just quickly show us what she did in the advanced search. Donna, are you willing to come online? Uh, sure, great. I'm just going to get Donna online, guys, and Donna can talk us through the search function because I haven't used it for months and months. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, my darling. How are you?
Good. Am I too loud or too quiet?
No, you're all good. You're absolutely fine. You're fantastic.
Excellent. Well, this search feature here, sorry, did I jump the gun?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Well, one of the people on my page this morning asked me this same question: how do you locate people in an area? And actually, your good friend Edward suggested to me to try this feature. So I popped in here because I thought it would be really good for me to find offline clients. So I actually went into the area of banned businesses, celebrity pages, and I clicked in there, and then I went into the area. I just let it boot up there. And I typed in Mooloolaba because that's my local area.
What, as
And
in
then I
the
was
in
able
the
to
in the
go
keyword? You
through
mean?
and start. Yeah, so down here in keywords, I put in Mooloolaba.
Okay.
So you can put in any town you like in there,
Okay. Yeah.
because I know you probably can't spell Mooloolaba.
Yeah.
And where it says search in, rather than just title only, if you click on that drop down, I just left that as 1,000. But where it says search in, click on the one next to title only, and I did title and description because I figured that people might have their town only in their description and not in their title.
Okay, yep.
And then I did my search. So if you now click on search,
It's just
and so that gave me
searching.
the opportunity to go through and have a look at other pages. So one of the functions was if they didn't have a really cool landing page, I could go to them. Or the other thing was, and I hate all this stuff that comes over your screen, so don't click it, anybody, just wait. The spam goes away eventually. But I looked at some of them and I could see, that they could have people who might be interested in my services. So I thought it was a great way to go over and just say hello and engage with them on the page. And I sort of thought, well, look, if I pick 10 a week and start the strategy that you have about talking to them and engaging with them, that would be a great way to get my business name seen out there.
Yeah, what a great strategy. Absolutely brilliant. So, there
And
we
there's some really good ones as you scroll down, and you can also pick specific people like you looked at, but I went for pages because I thought that was a great way to align myself with those pages or those
Yeah,
businesses.
yeah. We got a lot of music from Sheffield, guys, I think you can probably see. Um, okay, so there we go,
Well, they might
guys.
need an MP. They
Sorry,
might need an MP3 app installed, and you could charge them $75 to do it.
exactly. No, but seriously, that you're absolutely bang on there, Donna. No, sorry. If I talk a bit quietly, it's just because I've got all these people around me about to eat lunch, and I'm trolling on about social media and local business. Great. Okay, guys, there we go. All right, Donna. Thanks ever so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Edward as well for his advice on that. That's fantastic. So that's brilliant. All right, Donna. Well, we will speak again. Donna and I will be meeting next year when we head over to Queensland. Rhett and I are going to be heading over to Malula Bar, and Donna and I are going to be doing some brainstorming and some events together, which we're a bit excited about, aren't we, Donna?
Not only that, but we're also going to drink a bottle of red wine together.
We're actually more excited about that, aren't we, Donna?
Yes, and I need to speak to Rhett. I want to get this event going. I really am excited about you guys coming over here because it'll be loads of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to get you two talking on Skype, don't we, as soon as possible, really. So, because it's looming. I mean, it's coming up really fast, isn't it?
It's nearly Christmas.
I know, it's crazy. All right, Donna, listen, thanks ever so much, Donna. I'll speak to you very, very
Thank you.
soon. Cheers, love. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a nice little search feature there. Thank you very much to Donna and Edward for bringing that back into my completely forgotten about the advanced search app, actually. So that's great. All right, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to some questions. Let's have some questions from you guys before we go. Let's have 5 minutes or so of questions. And then, has this been helpful? It's been a bit off the cuff. It's been a little bit off the cuff, but has it been? Is Karen Warren still on the call, actually? Yeah, Karen has asked me so many times, and I've not got back to her yet about pricing. What would you charge local businesses to do social media? And you know what? It's a very, very grey area. Charging, okay, but here's what I would do if I were going to go and charge a business for social media consulting. I would work out what your strategies are, okay. So you've got a couple of strategies. You've either got the set and forget strategy, which is where you go into a business, you set up their pages, you train the staff, you tell them how to do stuff. Sorry, I just had a swig of coffee there and it's made me hiccup. You tell them exactly what to do and how to do it, and then you walk away. Okay, so that's like a whole kind of package that you were going to give somebody, and it would be really based on, are you going to be building them a welcome page? Are you going to actually be designing the welcome page and doing their graphics? So they have that already in their department. But really, if I were going to go into a business for a full day and teach a marketing department and teach people exactly how to use social media and get it off the ground and all the rest of it, I wouldn't be looking to charge anything less than £500, really. I mean, you need to value your time, you need to value your services, and a full day to show people exactly how to use social media, how to use all the different things and all the rest of it. I really wouldn't want to be charging less than £500. Now, in dollars, what's that? That's like about $800. Now, what you could do with that is you could throw in the fact that you'll also build their welcome page and build their Facebook page and actually get them live and have their avatar and their graphics and everything all ready for them. You could throw that in if you feel a little bit uncomfortable with that kind of price. It also, I suppose, depends on your comfort zone. You may think, well, I don't feel I'm at that level yet, so I'm actually happy to charge £250 or £300, which would be maybe like $500 or $600. But don't, undercharge yourself, guys. So that's if you're going to go in and train them. If you are going to actually be working on a social media campaign with them, so in other words, you're going to be working for them every month, then you're going to need to work out a monthly fee. And that's how I would do it. I would do it on a monthly retainer. I wouldn't do it on a per hour or anything like that. I would go in and say, this is a monthly retainer, and for that you'll get this amount of information. Not this amount of hours, you'll get this amount of work from me, yeah? So in other words, I will deliver so much content, or I will ensure your fan page is covered with these kind of responses and that kind of stuff, okay? And I would really kind of work out how much time you'd want to spend on that. So for instance, let's say that you had a company and you were going to be spending, I don't know, say a day a week on that company, then you might want to turn and say, well, my retainer for that is £500 a month. Yeah, for a day a week, or $800 a month or something. Yeah, and you may then spread that out. You might do a couple of hours one day, a couple of hours another day, but you're giving them essentially a certain amount of work per week. If you were going to raise that and say you were going to do 2 days a week or 3 days a week, then obviously your prices are going to start to rise depending on how much time you're spending on it. Okay. But really, the best way for you to decide how to price yourself, and I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head, guys, I'll be absolutely honest with you, I'm talking this right off the top of my head. The best way to work out how to price your services is to go out there and research what other people are doing in your area. So go and ring all your local social media companies that are offering social media consultancy. Get online and find all the local social media consultancy companies that are offering this. Ring up, pretend you're a client, get a local business to ring up on your behalf, whatever. Go in and find out all their prices, okay? And get yourself, when I first started my offline business, what I actually did is I went out and I got about 30, because there was massive competition in the city for me when I started mine. I had a spreadsheet and I went out and I pretended I was a landlord, and I got 30 lots of different agents' prices, offers, discounts, fees, extra fees, or everything. And then what I did is I pretended I was a tenant, and I went out and got 30 different tenant fees as well. So I suddenly had this huge spreadsheet of all these different fees, and I could start to figure out where to price myself. So absolutely the best way, rather than just plucking figures from the sky, is to go and research what's everybody else in the industry doing. Get yourself a nice big spreadsheet of all the different fees. What are they including for those fees? What's part of their strategy? Go and find strategy. There are companies out there that will have social media strategy documents online. There'll be companies that actually have, this is what we include in our services. They'll have like pages on their websites that include their services. It really, just go out and do a whole mammoth load of research. Find out exactly what all your competition are offering, find out what they're charging, and then you can start to really set your prices. But definitely, whatever you do, do not underprice yourself. Value, what you do. Caroline's just come up with a great question, which I'd love to answer. What's my view on posting on a client's page but not being their personality? What's your suggestion for this dilemma? Okay, that's really, really important, that if you decide that you're actually going to post as part of the company, yeah, that you make sure that you are you are not the face of the company. You can't be. You're not in the company all day, every day, and knowing what's going on. You're kind of getting a third-hand view of the company. So you need to create your own identity on the page. It's like, let's say I wanted somebody to come onto Facebook and start helping out with all of the questions and answers on the Facebook fan page. There's no way I want them to respond, "Thanks, Joe Barnes," because they're not me. So they'd need to create their own identity on the page. So you would need to actually say to the company, right, okay, so my identity will be social media manager or something. And then you'll go onto the page, you'll obviously respond from the company, but you're responding from the company, not from a personal person. Do you know what I mean, Caroline? So let's say the company had a very strong leader, they had a very strong CEO or president or whatever, and that person posted, you'd never post as that person. You would simply post as a member of the company, the social media manager, the marketing manager, the customer relations person, whatever. But you definitely have to have your own personality. Never try and be something you're not, would be my response to that. Okay? Um, Here we go. Donna already does. Do you know what? I'm thinking that this might be a great webinar to do with Donna, all about local business, because Donna's already actually out there doing this. Donna does a package of $500 for a fan page, hosting fees. Then she does coaching fees of $110 per person on site. Okay? Okay, Nicola's asking me a question which is not really. Nicola, your question is more of a personal question about how can you get your business going. I'd like to talk to you about that separately rather than this webinar, because this is more about becoming a social media consultant and getting out there and doing it for local business. Is that okay, my love? Okay, guys, listen. A couple of people just want to know how we got up in the search bar. Type in beta advanced and it will come up the beta advanced search 2.2 app. Okay, just type in beta advanced and it will come up with the advanced search 2.2 beta app. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Are there any other burning questions, or can we call that a day now? Jared, have you got anything else you wanted to add before we go?
No, I don't think so. Just I guess along the lines of pricing, don't be shy about charging. Be confident in your pricing. A lot of people have a hard time when they first get started offering services to businesses. They're shy about, they're nervous to ask for the money. Don't. You're offering real value. This is something, whether you feel like you're a huge expert at Facebook or not, you know a lot more than the business owner does about how to get leads from Facebook, and so feel confident. Right? That's where, again, if you find and approach customers with a high value per client, high value per customer, that's where you can. It helps with that because you know, okay, well, I can generate one or two, one or two new clients for this business within the next couple of months. So be confident, I guess, would be my advice. Be
Yeah.
confident in your pricing, be confident in your services, and keep it simple. Don't try to create this big, elaborate display of services you can offer. Just keep it simple. Put together a simple package that will be simple to explain and simple to deliver on, and sometimes simple creates the best results. So
Great. Um, Can I just say, guys, as well, I know we've got Donna Hamer on here. Who else on the call is currently or has done social media for local businesses? Donna's just saying, can she say one thing? Don't go to businesses saying how good Facebook is for their business and not being able to show them your own page. Comes back to what I said at the beginning. You must have your own social media presence, okay, without a shadow of a doubt. All right, listen, I'm thinking, guys, Donna, I'm just writing your names down now. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Donna Hamer. Let me go down. Is it Marcy? Mars or Marcy, I think it's probably pronounced. Calusi. Michelle Eckhart. Jared, can you still hear me?
yep, I can.
Great, it's alright, it's just because my Karen Warren. I'm just writing your names down, guys, because I'm going to ask you something. Karen James, Tracy Ray Thierry, of course, Tracy. Gosh. You guys are all sitting under my noses, and I could have got you all on this call, couldn't I? Edward Palmer. Fabulous. Okay, guys, what I'm going to ask, if you guys are okay with this, is what we'll do, not straight away, because we've got a lot on our plate over the next week, because we're sort of changing the site around and doing some other stuff. But, sorry, Mars, no E on the end, sorry, my apologies. What I will do is I'll get in touch with you guys, Donna Hamer, Mars Colucci, Michelle Eckhart, Karen Warren, Karen James, Tracy Ray Terry and Edward Palmer, and we'll do like a 15-20 minute interview over Skype, and if you guys are happy with that, and I'll just get some of your key ideas about local business, and we'll record it all, and I'll put it all together and put it on the site for everybody. Would that be okay with you guys? Would you be happy to do that? And then we can have a really nice little video on the site with interviews with all you guys about how you're going about, Great, fantastic. You've all said yes, wonderful. Okay, I'll be in touch with you guys all, okay, over the next few weeks. So just look out for an email or a Facebook message or something from me. And then that would be a great little video, I think, or separate videos really, to go on the site as a nice sort of social media to local business information centre. That would be fantastic. And Rosalie's just asking, yes, it will be recorded. And Joe, I didn't miss your question, love. I just showed you there. If you type in Beta Advanced in the Facebook search bar, and that will bring you to this app. Okay? Beta Advanced. And that will bring you to the Advanced Search 2.2 Beta app. Okay? Have you got that, Joe? Are you happy with that? Oh, actually, yeah. Karen Warren, I'm seeing next weekend, so we could do that then. That would be great. Joe Mum, have you got that, sweetie? Can you see where I've got the Beta Advanced searched from? Just want to make sure you've got it. Great, she has. Wonderful, thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm sure the people around me in the pub are fed up with listening to me talking about this. So, Jared, go back to bed.
Very good, very good.
Jared, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on this morning. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, anytime. Always fun to do these with you, Joe.
So that is fantastic. Thank you, guys. It's been wonderful talking to you all. Donna's just realised yes, Donna, I'm doing it in the pub because we lost internet connection at my house. So unfortunately, I've had to rush down to the pub, which has got free Wi-Fi. All right, good guys. Okay, you guys all take care, and I will hopefully see you. When's the next one, Rhett?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, is it? Fan page critiques at 3 o'clock. When's my John Jonas one then?
5 o'clock.
Oh, 5, okay. So if you want your fan page critiqued, guys, come along, sign up at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we will be critiquing fan pages at 3 o'clock, okay? Other than that, you guys have a fabulous morning, and I will see you all very, very soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.